Amongst chicken poo and vibrant flowers lives a woman with magic powers. She grows the soil and plants her seeds while healing people, worms, and bumblebees. People come to her in pain. She has them lie down all the same, limp and stiff and strained and wheezy. She tells them to only do what is easy. Here a simple life led by gentle steps cultivates common sense and fucking slick biceps. And plenty of cheese, milk, and potatoes too. This sanctuary is a place to grow old in virtue. This was a poem written to me for my birthday by my friends Angelina and Jonah, who were staying here and who've stayed here many times. And Jonah has called this his second home. So they're saying they need the road because Terrace Heights Drive is getting congested. Oh, they say they want a third bridge over the river. It's going to connect the old Boise Cascade site, which they want to develop into Terrace Heights, which now there's this new wine tourism resort plan. And they've talked about the freeway over there being, they give all these reasons, but it looks to me like the main reason is to develop these properties. Well, on May 10th of 2018, I went to a meeting in which they told me that the road was coming right through my house, was going to take my whole house, and that they had kind of arrived at this final alignment suddenly, and they were in a hurry to do this part of it now because they had some money they'd lose if they didn't do it. And so then within a month, they sent an appraiser out. I haven't actually heard anything officially since then. Before that, I went to a meeting in 2010. They had two different meetings in 2010, at which they hadn't decided exactly where. I knew it was possible it might come through here, but they hadn't decided. They had 4 different possible routes. Actually, the first meeting I went to, I wasn't even on the possible routes. And then they did have another meeting in 2011, but they still weren't sure what the routes were. Oh, I got a letter in 2014 saying that surveyors might want to come into my property and that they would have a public meeting later. They never had that public meeting.
Nowhere in the foyers did you?
It's not anywhere in there. The only ones are 2010, 2011. On July 18, 2017, Thomas Lorenz called. He called and asked to have the locked gates open so that surveyors could come in. He said, "How are you doing?" I said, "Well, I don't like the idea of a road coming through my house." And at that time, too, he said, "Well, we're planning to keep the road south of the tracks at this point." So I thought, oh, okay, they're not coming here. My house is part of Phase 1 for the east-west corridor. And Matt, the county engineer, was quoted in the Yakima Herald in January to say they had already purchased all the property for Phase 1.
And so you actually haven't gotten an offer?
I have not even had an offer, no. Well, also, there's a website for the east-west corridor. And I had been checking that because I knew it was a possibility. Since 2010, I knew it was a possibility. And I just read the comment I had made in 2010, which is that I'm 67, which I was then. I'm 75 now, and I've lived here for over 35 years, and no amount of money could compensate. So I knew that it was a possibility all that time, but I kept checking the website, and nothing was on there. On what I just read on the website today, they had it updated to 2011. They talked a lot about being concerned about displacing older people in the trailer court over there.
What about you?
Yeah, they didn't know I was here. That's the thing, they didn't know I was here. When Michelle came, she said, "Oh, nobody knew I was here." They make all these plans on paper and they don't come out to see. In the cultural assessment, they took a picture out there when it was all trees, so they couldn't even see the house. And they said they would have to contact the landlord if they wanted to see more, and they never contacted me. The Yakima County Planning Division signed off last month on a winery-themed master plan development. Yeah. It's not for the people of Yakima. This wine tourism resort, that's for people from mainly Seattle, it appears. That's what the article says. So How do I feel about it? Angry. I feel angry about it because we're having global climate disruption, and building more roads and more buildings is just going to keep causing more trouble. It's just going to exacerbate the problem. They're going on with business as usual as if we can just keep doing what we're doing. I think that people have their heads in the sand if they think they can just keep building all these new places while the seas rise. And the other reason why the road's coming right through my house is because of these industries right across the road that want access for their big trucks. So that doesn't seem like the public good either to me. That seems like certain corporations. I think all this development of big plots of land is not in the interests of everyday people. It's in the interest of a few rich people that can afford to do those things. And it's only going to be a few people that can benefit from those projects. Yeah. I have strived to live my life in a way that, as I said before, if everyone could live the way I do, we could all live happily in abundance on the earth, which means we need to change the way we're living, which means we need to grow our own food. And there's a lot of land around here where food could be growing, a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing what you have on just half an acre.
Yeah. There's a lot of land around here where food could be growing. I mean, the whole Boise Cascade site looks to me like great farmland. This river bottom land is farmland. We need this for growing our food. This is the good farmland, the river bottom land. Yeah, we need, and also to combat global warming, we need to keep more carbon in the soil, which happens with organic farming. Permaculture keeps the carbon in the soil. If all the food were grown organically, we could bring carbon back into the soil and solve the CO2 problem. Now that's a huge venture, but it is true. I told Michelle, I took a lemon and made lemonade because this place is not worth much. They haven't told me, but we got on Freedom of Information that he appraised it at $130,000. That's what this house is worth. It's not worth that much because they don't care about the garden. That's the value for me. So also I told Michelle, I took a lemon and made lemonade. The best you'll find me is another lemon, and I don't have the energy to make lemonade again at the age of 75. The soil is developed over 45 years. The soil is just, you don't find soil like this. I've just suited the whole place just to me over 45. All the little things that I've done just for me. And I never did them for resale, which a lot of times people say you do things for resale. I never did because I wanted to do them for what I thought would work for doing what I want to do, which is live close to the land, grow my own food, and learn about things that are helpful for people. Live comfortably. Live in a way that's ecologically sustainable. I haven't made a lot of money in my life. I could have if I had chosen to. But I've chosen to do what I thought was right for the earth and for how we live in the world. Defend this particular piece of land because this is where I am. Rather than say, okay, let them build a road here and then I'll go somewhere else. And then they just keep building more roads and dams and hydroelectric projects, pipelines. So to just make a stand where I am makes sense to me in terms of how I've lived my life up till now. Yeah, so it just makes sense with how I've lived my life too. And I've contemplated, just let it go and get as much money as I can, hire an attorney, get as much money as I can. And it seems simpler in a way. Mm-hmm. But it seems like giving up. So I want to stay here.